Welcome everybody to my channel at abroadcom.net. A few observations on the site setup of the Public Order Inquiry Commission hearings at the Canadian National Archives and Library on Wellington Street, just west of the Supreme Court of Canada. I got myself a first-hand impression. I went through the effort to sit in the commission hearings in person on Thursday the 10th of November, and that was day 21 of the commission hearings. And whoever is organizing the setup in the hearing room sure made it as uncomfortable as possible to follow the information. Looking also at the reception overall, I can make this a very short story. It was an unprofessional setup and hostile reception by commission staff. All the contrary, looking at the security guards, they were professional and courteous. Security guards. While we're talking about that, there were a lot of them. I spotted about 10 to 12 upon entering the building. I couldn't see anybody looking like they were in charge of accommodating the press. Two gentlemen associated with the commission treated me with an arrogance and a presumption of guilt instead of paying me some respect as to acknowledging that I was part of the independent press. They made me feel like I had no business being there when in fact I had all the reason to be there. And also to walk straight into the media room to get my accreditation right there. Which brings me to the next point. No on-site media accreditation. I asked two security guards sitting at what looked like an improvised reception table who sent me to the website of the commission and encouraged email communications with the staff of the commission to get accreditation, where I also would need to be required to answer a few questions. Nobody was available to give me accreditation based upon my documented credentials in form of my international press card. Right here it is. Nobody even bothered to vet me. Unfortunately, that is a crass violation of anti-discrimination laws, Canadian as well as international regulations. Very sad to see in a commission that is tasked to bring you the truth. As I did not have access to the technology at the time, the fact that nobody was available to accredit me on site represents a discrimination. It's a discriminatory act to deny somebody accreditation when otherwise they have all the credentials to be accredited. And it's also really unfair to independent media and anybody who decides to document a part of the conference on the spot. All this online trouble is too expensive for us. We don't have time. We need somebody to look at our credentials, and we're done. Thank you. The result is the narrative conform media get the seat in the hearing and the independent media may not attend. You're telling me that is not a desired outcome? Number two thing, nobody spoke French in the room for French translations. The commission provided headphones to visitors at the entrance of the hearing room. I have not noticed any indigenous languages offered, nor Spanish, nor Mandarin. That's a scandal to me. Why can't we hear this talk in the original languages of North America? That would be some actual reconciliation. That would be some change in how we're doing things, but no, that would be too real. Interestingly, anybody questioning witnesses had their back to the left wing of the press, looking at the stage, and everybody answering in the commission had their backs to the wall, which was the back wall of the stage area, sitting on a desk on the 21st day of hearings, the 10th of November. Now, when I say press, that is the accredited media, of which I guess there were about 40 to 50 journalists sitting in the 4 or 5 front rows of the room, right next to the presentation. 3 sound people sat at the back of the room, and the public was invited to seat themselves in between. So the public remained pretty much in the middle of the room. From that area, documents presented to the witnesses were not readable. On the regardless 2x4 meter large screen toward the left middle part of the presentation area, looking at the stage from the audience. Fonts were too small and resolution was fuzzy. Furthermore, any perception of what happened in the presentation area was completely compromised by 3 blinding full spectrum lights directed towards the room from the back of the stage area. That means they were shining onto the audience, so when you were trying to look at your witnesses to gather any of their facial expressions, you'd have to face those blinding lights to see them. Absolutely unhealthy for any human eye and tiring participants out much more than necessary. They could have been used, these lights, to shine some light on the folks answering the questions or the folks asking the questions, but they were clearly installed in a way to make it difficult to follow the presentation and especially read the documents at the overhead screen, which was plenty large for that matter, just not used right or in favor of the public. While I was in the session, neither the media nor any member of the public had a chance to ask the commission witnesses anything. I don't know of any such option, and I couldn't help thinking that it turned the public into a very passive appearing crowd of consumers instead of acting in their own democracy. Also the fact that everybody was in one room and no commentary was possible without the room hearing that, which of course was why it was strictly prohibited to do that. You know, that used to be our default production setup though, as nobody was allowed to make recordings or point additional cameras at the witnesses. Pretty much everybody who seemed part of the accredited media was taking notes and audibly typing on their laptop keyboards. I mean, I understand that. You don't want to additionally intimidate witnesses while they're trying to bring a memory from over 9 months ago together again. Yet, the public can watch but not ask questions, and there's 12 security staff with nothing to do, but nobody has the time to accredit a free international journalist with no budget, no resources, on their own effort and dime, in person showing up at the commission. You know, that's what we mean when we say Mickey Mouse. Unprofessional and visibly orchestrated in a way to make it hard to follow the actual outcome. And if you can't read the document sitting in the room as a member of the public, how would you know that commission members lied, that witnesses lied? How would you know? In closing, I'm not going to surprise anybody saying we, of course, need an independent inquiry. And you all know those efforts are already well on their way, thank goodness. And until then, let's keep an eye on these gangsters. I don't know if you noticed, but Keith Wilson sure committed perjury live on camera. And I'm extremely disappointed that till this day nobody has asked anybody of the police when they're going to arrest our criminal government. Lastly, if you haven't shown up at the commission, go. Go and show your face. Check it out for yourself. You're going to have a first-hand account on things that is invaluable in these lying, trying times. And it would also signal some interest on the outcome of this, in my eyes, very, very questionable commission. No matter what the next sessions bring, never forget, we're probing the government. After the 21 days of hearings, I think everybody sees clearly that there was absolutely no reason at all to invoke this absolutely dictatorial law. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you like this content, please don't forget to like, share, and donate on my website. This is Maren Moltein for abroadcom.net.